and welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into reparenting, exploring all of the tools and resources that you'll need to help you along your journey. This podcast is divided into 3 sections. First is a daily reading, second is a discussion on the reading followed by journal prompts, and the last section is a peaceful meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys, from whenever and wherever you're joining us. Thanks for being here for another day of reparenting. Today we're going to continue on from yesterday. We started the Kybalion, and I started in the Law of Polarity because it followed from episode 154. And so I kind of jumped around to Law 4. And so now basically I'm going to go back to the list, and every day we're going to do one law from the Kybalion. As usual, you can find a link in the show notes because this is older text. It's in the public domain, so you can also find the PDF there for free. And one last note, please do give me a like, 5-star review, and follow wherever you're listening. It really helps me to spread the word of the podcast, to help get more people engaged in the community. So hopefully I can start attracting more guests for the 3rd podcast that will be starting this month in September. And so last month we had the rollout of the Reparenting Daily meditations, which you can find also on your podcast platforms as well as YouTube. And the new 3rd podcast is going to be Reparenting Daily lessons. So here we're going to be having discussions with people along the reparenting journey to get their insights and tips on how we can all continue to improve, stay focused on our reparenting journey, just to be honest about the challenges that we're facing and how to help each other move forward and become the best and most solid, most fulfilled versions of ourselves. So yeah, thanks again for all of your support so far. I appreciate you all dearly. And without further ado, let's continue on with the Kybalion. Principle 1, the principle of mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental, the Kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that all is mind. It explains that all, which is a substantial reality underlying all outward manifestation and appearances, which we know under the terms of the material universe. The phenomena of life, matter, energy, and in short, all that is apparent to our material sense is spirit, which in itself is unknowable and undefinable, but which may be considered and thought of as an universal, infinite, living mind. It also explains that all phenomenal world and universe is simply a mental creation of the all, subject to the laws of created things, and that the universe as a whole, and in its parts or units, has an existence in the mind of the all, in which we live and move and have our being. This principle, by establishing the mental nature of the universe, easily explains all of the varied mental and psychic phenomenon that occur such a large portion of the public attention, and which without such explanation are not understandable to defy scientific treatment. An understanding of this great hermetic principle of mentalism enables the individual to readily grasp the laws of the mental universe and to apply the same to his well-being and advancement. The hermetic student is enabled to apply intelligently the great mental laws instead of using them in a haphazard way. With a master key in his possession, the student may unlock many doors of the mental and psychic temple of knowledge and enter the same freely and intelligently. The principle explains the true nature of energy, power, and matter, and why and how all of these are subordinate to the mastery of the mind. One of the old Hermetic masters wrote long ago, "He who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery. And these words are true today, as at the time they were first written. Without this master key, mastery is impossible, and the student knocks in vain at the many doors of the temple. Thank you, and that is the reading for today. Welcome back, guys. This is a wonderful reading from the Kybalion. It's an excellent book that details the Hermetic philosophy, which is a combination of ancient Greek and Egyptian traditions. Definitely check out the link in the show note. Again, you can find it for free, or you can buy a copy in the link to Amazon. This principle of mentalism, the all is mind, the universe is mental, the all. Another word for God, another word for the higher power. The all is mind, the universe is mental. What does that mean to you when you hear that? Perhaps you're not a philosophical person, perhaps you're not an intellectual, but what is your first reaction when you hear the all is mind, the universe is mental? This first law is probably it is the most important. This first principle, this first law, is the key that gives you power to change your perception. One thing that I've noticed now as we're on episode 156 is that I've been reaching out to many of the listeners and people, fellow travelers who have been along with me in this journey, to come onto my podcast and to have a discussion, open, candid discussion, about where they are in their journey. And what I found is that there is so much insecurity in general amongst most people who are in the reparenting journey. And people doubt themselves, they have insecurity, they have the imposter syndrome, because we're trying to do something that no one has really truly defined, reparenting yourself. It's a very nebulous, fluid experience and process. And so we're all kind of just going at the fly, and people have been very uncomfortable and scared to be honest about where they are in their journey. And so that's my motivation really for creating that third podcast I mentioned earlier, because again, bringing this back to the first principle, the principle of mentalism, the all is mind, the universe is mental. So what does this have to do with people being willing or unwilling, rather, to come on the podcast to share their experience of reparenting? Not about the past, but their struggles with reparenting in the day-to-day, here and now, and how their struggles relate to the struggles of everyone else in the day-to-day, in the here and now, who is in the reparenting journey. Why would they be afraid? Because of the insecurity, the self-doubt, the lack of solid pathway that's been carved for us in this reparenting journey. So people doubt themselves. They're unsure. They don't think that they have value to add because they don't think that they know what they're doing. It's normal for adult children, and that's what I want to show. So again, why does all of that matter to this principle of mentalism? The first principle in the Kybalion. The all is mind. The universe is mental. I say this because each person who I've spoken to who leads by their self-doubt, their insecurity, or their imposter syndrome, who doesn't want to join the podcast because, at this moment, I should say, because some of them have said later on, so I'm not attacking anyone who I've asked and who's listening to this. I'm not attacking you. I'm trying to give an example of, if you allow the fear to make your decisions, Your self-doubt and your insecurity. Oh, I don't know enough. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm not really seeing the benefits. Oh, I'm not really sure what to explain. I'm not actually really reparenting myself. Whatever it is that causes your resistance, that's something inside of yourself that if you do not release, you will never manifest your reparenting journey. Because whether you believe you can or whether you believe you cannot, you are correct. You are the only one who creates your reality. You are the only one. And that is why the principle of mentalism, the first principle of the Kybalion, is so important. You own your reality. You create your reality. You are the co-creator of your reality with the higher power. And so today, let's take some time to reflect again on this Kybalion and the first principle, the principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. This is all very, very important. And I think that we must prioritize our own perspectives. Perspective is where your power lies. The Kybalion shows you with this first principle, the principle of mentalism, that your power lies within your perspective, your mentalization. Your mentalization of your reality, your mentalization of your experiences, all can be re-examined and assigned a new perspective. And so today, reflect on the ways in which you have been denying yourself power and energy by denying the reality of the law and the principle of mentalism of the Kybalion. Take some time to reflect on this principle and support yourself, empower yourself, love yourself, and refather yourself with the principle of mentalism. As always, thanks for being here. Take care of yourself and do be well. And now, let us move on to the final section, the meditation. This is an unguided meditation. I will simply provide some music and you can take some time to relax. Please feel free to choose a location and a place where you feel safe and where you can be undisturbed for the next 10 minutes. You can choose to be sitting down, standing, as you like, wherever you are most comfortable. Thank you for being here and enjoy the meditation.